Welcome to the Popcast! And Shane's microphone is muted again. Come on, Shane. Unmute your mic, bro.
I don't have a mute button, bro.
Oh, okay. Everybody, this is the Popcast. My name is Brian. That is Shane. And you are watching the only two people willing to live stream back to back on Thursdays.
They wouldn't know that. They wouldn't know that, though.
No, they wouldn't.
It was a members live stream.
Right.
We actually reviewed the first 2 episodes of Andor already this morning for our members. And if you want to know more about that, just join. It's already available, I believe, right?
It is available to view. Yes?
Yes, for members. And it will be, you can catch the last half of this when we do go to members only for the last part. So definitely check out our member stuff. It's less than a half. It's like a quarter cup of Starbucks per month to hang out with us.
It's like $3 freedom dollars.
It's really literally nothing.
Okay, so what are we talking about today? Well, let me tell you, in case you didn't look at the trailer or any of the description or anything like that. We are talking about House of Dragons or House of Thrones, Game of Dragons. Kicking Rings of Power's butt, literally and figuratively. We're doing a little mini She-Hulk review once again. That's when we run through the episode and give our take, but we don't really up and down anything. We have the Weekly Terry. Got some Discovery news. Discovery Season 5 has ended. The rating has ended. What are we going to expect for that? New Black Adam trailer is rocking Justice League characters, and I actually have some other information on that, about like the artists and all that we're going to talk about. Amber Heard apparently blackmailed her way into Aquaman 2, which makes complete sense to me. I don't even know why that's news. Scott Bakula is apparently welcome to be in Quantum Leap in any role he wants at any time. That's cool.
That's interesting.
And move over Star Trek Picard. It's time for Star Trek Janeway.
Ooh. It's possible. And this is not a giant freaking robot news source.
Yeah, this is not giant freaking robot. It's a real news source. And Archmage phrase right. The mini She-Hulk review always takes longer than the episode because the episode is like 4 minutes long.
3.5 minutes. Yeah. Really short. Let's also let everybody know this today live show is brought to you by Movie Palette, the folks who have taken movies and turned them into vertical lines of color.
Yep.
So just note that we're going to show this to you in more detail later, but you can get a movie. What you got it upside down there. Let's see if you can. So you got your little movie in the bottom right-hand corner, and essentially it's the colors from the movie. Like all the colors from the beginning to the end of the movie lined up in vertical lines, and you can get yours at moviepalette.com. And if you use the code POPCAST15, you'll get 15% off of a movie palette of your own. So Thanks for sponsoring the show today.
So they just took like scene by scene, and they take the dominant color from each scene, and they show the movie in colors. That's what it is.
Yes. So you can hang it up on your wall and be like, that one is Star Trek for the Voyage Home.
It is, yes.
Right? Yes.
I wonder if the Batman movie would just be a black canvas. Or like just
maybe a
shades of black. Because that movie was so dark. Remember?
Very true. It must be a dark book.
They're like, no one ordered that. It cost too much money to print.
Right.
Archmage is funny. I had a dream last night that they asked us for a movie palette of our podcast live stream, and Shane was like, why?
You're dreaming about movie palette. That's a good sign.
Yeah, well, it was because we had like a long conversation. All right, so listen, we're going to jump into this thing. But before we get into all those news topics, remember, we got weekly segments. We have the Weekly Terry. And lately we've had Superman Watch 2022, which is becoming a weekly segment.
Strange.
And don't forget the original weekly segment, the
Rant of the Week. Rant of the Week.
This is the Rant of the Week. Let me tell you a little something. This is going to be hard for me, actually, because it was so frustrating that I knew, oh man, my rant of the week was going to be about something benign, until I came out of Shane and I's shop yesterday after working all night, and I saw this.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's my Jeep, and that's my tire casually sitting on the ground. And I don't have an expensive vehicle. My Jeep is actually 15 years old or something, and it's very old. It's like barely running as it is. In fact, if I actually lived far away from where I work, I'm not sure if I would even have this car anymore. And I'm literally like 15 feet away from where I parked in the front of our shop, and I walked 15 feet in to work, and I was there for like 8 hours, and I come out of the shop, and my tire, somebody clearly jacked the car up,
right,
took the lug nuts off and took the tire off, and then after taking it off decided it wasn't worth their time and left the tire there.
Yeah. So at first you told me you thought maybe they thought your rims were like valuable, but looking at this picture, I don't believe they thought that. But you have good tire tread, so maybe tires are expensive.
Yeah, jokes on them. That's actually my spare tire. My actual tire is in the back of the car because a week ago I had a blowout, so I've been driving on the spare. So that wasn't even the good tire. It was It makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, granted, that is like underneath all that dust, that is it actually is a nice rim. For some reason, my spare tire has a really nice rim, but all my other tires have just the stock rims. Yes, they did steal the lug nuts. And I don't know why. Lug nuts are very cheap. I know. I had to buy 4 new lug nuts.
I bet what happened was a cop was driving by and they got scared after getting one and done and bailed. You're lucky you got your tires and you're not just up on blocks. It's got to be what it is. There's no reason for them to stop.
Yeah, it was very odd. And yeah, I don't get it.
It's on a main road.
It's on a main road. It's literally
on a main road.
Main Street.
It's very brave of people to just like do this with traffic driving by. Like, I guess if you act like you're changing your tires.
Yeah, I mean, maybe people just assume you're changing a tire. I don't know. So that happened. Additionally, I had to go to Los Angeles, and that's a nightmare. It's Tijuana. People are driving all crazy. Stop signs don't work. Lights don't work. It is nuts. I got off the off ramp, and I told this in the last live stream, but we got off the off ramp, and there used to be a time where people would sell like oranges or flowers or whatever, right?
Right.
Bro, there's no cops in LA anymore. Like 70% of the force is gone. So there's no one there to tell them they can't be selling stuff off the off ramp. And normally I wouldn't even care. Like, I don't know, sell your flowers and oranges. Who cares? But now I sort of know why they're not allowed to sell there, because they take it to like the nth degree, bro. Instead of oranges and flowers, they have like taco carts and like and like easy ups. Like there's little pop-up restaurants on the off ramp, dude. Like they're making semi-permanent structures on the off ramp so they can sell you stuff. It is literally like waiting in line to get out of Tijuana.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's like. And you know what it is the cops are there's just so much of it, they just can't beat it back. So it's like they'll probably end up doing sweeps every once in a while, and then they'll just hide and come back because there's nothing they can really do to them, fine them or whatever. But they're not residents, or they're not. Most of them aren't from here. So
yeah, the craziest thing is 10 years ago I ran a podcast called Rant, right? And we used to complain about things basically. And I remember clearly one of the podcasts was about like police overreaching. And I went off for an hour about why cops care about like what kind of sink you have, in your house, or who's selling flowers on the side of the street. And I went off for like an hour. And the older I've gotten, the more I realize that there's some reasons why this is happening.
Maybe not crazy that they're holding people accountable.
Right. The reason they used to kick the people selling flowers and oranges off the off-ramp is, well, it's dangerous and it creates a funnel effect. Like people are stopping and like the traffic builds up for miles and miles and miles. And if they don't stop the little guys, then they get bolder and bolder and bolder until there is a pop-up strip mall on the side of the freeway. And no one's doing anything about it. And there's garbage everywhere because they're selling stuff and then just throwing it on the side of the street.
I wish you'd taken pictures when you were driving.
I know. I was so annoyed. I was fuming. I was like, I don't know. Why am I stopped? I'm stopped behind a truck that has stopped to buy tacos on the freeway. What is happening right now? It was crazy. It was crazy. It makes no sense. And I find the older I get, the more I understand some stuff, and the more my opinion changes. Because now, while I understand, I still have a problem with like police overreach. I do understand why they did some of those things. But now, as an adult, or as an older adult, I'm starting to also see how corrupt some of these organizations are. How they allow some people to do some things and other people not. It's, these people can protest, and we're going to call it, they're right. But these people can't because they're breaking some kind of law. And you can sort of, like, depending on where your bias lies, a politician or a police officer or someone in power can sort of contort the law to get what they want out of it. And
it's hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's an extreme hypocrisy in the government. And watching these people on the side of the road, I wish I could go back to my younger self when I went off on an hour-long rant for like 30,000 people and be like, stop. Just stop talking right now. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, good rant. I think this is a good one. Let's say hello to everybody visiting us today. DX2069. Oh my God, I want a Janeway so bad. Unless you're a little bit of an older person there, she might not be available to you. Oh, you just want a Janeway show. That's right. We're going to talk about that today.
No, I'm down for a Janeway too. Why not?
Old Janeway or current Janeway? Let's just be clear on that.
Any Janeway. To be able to say,
yeah,
I was with Captain Janeway. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it in any form.
All right, we're gonna watch you at the next Comic-Con. Just make sure you're staying away from Janeway.
You mean STLV or whatever?
Yeah, whatever it is that we're going to. Yeah. Kenneth LaRoque, I'm awake. Good to see you, Ken. We've got Archmage Frey back. He said, haven't seen you guys in forever. The Popcast. Yes, it's been a whole hour.
It's been an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah. Orville Nation. Hey, Brian and Shane. Hey, PJ. Good to see you, brother.
What up, PJ?
Jeremy's just getting done with his work day. Thank you, Jeremy. And go enjoy. You've been on the road for days. Get the heck out of here, man. Catch us later. The Ultimate Alien. Hello there. Hello there to you. Who else we got here? And
hello, Alien.
I'm sure there's other people watching. If you're here, please give the stream a thumbs up. We're going to talk about some pretty cool stuff today. And we really appreciate you guys joining us. So thanks.
And do us a favor, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, in the thumbs up, which Shane already said. And why not hit the bell too? Hit the bell. Hit all the buttons and
might as well.
Say Hulk smash all the buttons.
Or She-Hulk smash all the buttons, we should say.
Ooh, She-Hulk. Nice transition.
Thank you. We're not there yet, but I agree.
All right. Yeah, you should have. Damn.
Unless you wanted to, let's do that first. Why not?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we can. Why not?
Hey, guys, this is what control looks like. That's literally.
No, we can do it first. Yeah, that's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, why not?
Why the heck not?
Here we go. Here we go.
It'll take like 2.5 minutes, so don't blink. If you guys want to watch the show, you probably can before we start.
Okay, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
We are talking about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Season 1, Episode 6, titled Just Jen. This is the wedding episode. And like Jen says at the beginning of the episode, I know it's weird to have a wedding episode so early, but wedding episodes are always feel out of place in TV shows, which she's not lying. That's exactly how most wedding episodes feel. So,
well, I figured this show out. So this show it was not that bad for me to watch. It should have been. But this is what I did, guys. This is what got me going for it. I said, okay, how am I going to watch She-Hulk? I don't really want to watch it. So I went into the garage, and we decorate for Halloween every year. So I've got this like old witch in the corner, and I took the old witch and I took her to the living room, and I just kind of put her there. And then I walked off to the side, and I kind of just gently strolled in, and I had She-Hulk up on the TV, and I'm like, oh, hey, honey, what are you doing? And, oh, you're watching She-Hulk. I got to paint the house. I got some other stuff I got to do. And then,
where are you going with this?
In my
Did
mind,
you have sex with the witch?
What I'm trying to say, why does everything go to sex?
I don't know. You took a doll out of the garage.
I needed, in order for me to watch this show, because this show's not made for me. This show is made for ladies. So what I did is I just pretended like the thing was my wife, and she was watching TV, and she wanted me to watch it with her.
Oh,
right.
Man.
And so I had to like fool myself, trick myself into watching She-Hulk. So that way I was doing her a favor.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in hell I am ever.
Yeah. Shane just cut out, and now I swear that wasn't me. He cut out for some reason. Pretty sure he was going to say, no way in hell is he ever watching She-Hulk. But here's the deal. He took so long to get to that point. I thought he was going to make like a joke about comparing the witch to She-Hulk, because the witch he's talking about is like this green. It's like a green prop. It's getting weird. Let me check on Shane real quick. He just left, man. I don't know. All right. So while he's coming back, I'm gonna turn off the review. Shane doesn't have a Hulk doll. He has a man. I wish I could find that video. We actually made like a video of Shane's Halloween setup a while ago. Let me see if I can find it real quick. He actually has, dude. Shane goes crazy with Halloween. His Halloween setup is so intense. I think I have it here actually. So we did like a little Halloween video, because I was like blown away at how big his we did. I was blown away at how big his Halloween thing was. So I actually we made a video, and it was on the Mixed Teas channel a million years ago. You might have seen it. So check this out real quick. This is Shane's house and his Halloween setup.
2017. We decided to do it up big again for the first time in a long time. Let's take a look at pumpkin lights. You can see the truck has crashed into the house. That's kind of how we're rolling. Zombie here coming out from underneath, and it's like somebody was run over. Oh, look, it's Freddy Fazbear from Five Nights at Freddy's.
What's up, bud?
All right. Oh, what's this? Oh, wow, that's crazy. Some dude working on the car? Oh, it looks like he got stuck under there.
Shane goes nuts.
Cool. All right.
It's not even done yet.
What's going on here? Oh, this looks scary. Wow.
He really is into Halloween.
Oh, that's freaky. You don't want to wake up with that next to you. Some blood. Oh, whoa. Looks like somebody's stuck under there. Looks like witchy poo. It's got a little girl here.
Oh, no, it's Kevin Spacey. Run. It's Kevin Spacey. That's the witch. So that's the witch he's talking about.
Yes, the one with the cauldron right there. That's it.
Right. So that's why I was like, you were taking such a long Star Wars Andor way of getting to where you were going. I was
setting up my joke. It was great.
I see, but like for me, it was like I thought you were gonna like say I'm pretending it's She-Hulk. I'm like, why?
Yeah, no, I was setting it up like my wife's there, and I need an excuse to watch it. Like I'm helping out my wife because this show is for her. She-Hulk is a girl's show. It's 100% cemented itself. If it hasn't in the first 4 episodes, are we in 5? Then that means that
6.
Six. Well, in the first 5, well, they definitely cemented it in 6. It's 100% a girl show. It just is, and that's fine. But a guy like me needs a reason to watch a girl show.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to tune in to chick shows. No offense. No offense to chick shows. No offense to chicks. I just don't like them.
Okay.
So if I'm not the target audience for Disney, fine. I had to make an excuse to watch it.
Okay. All right.
And when I did, it was fine. It was enjoyable for a girl show.
Now we need to show them the rest of that video, though, and take another sidetrack because it was. So that was Kevin Spacey.
The psycho.
Oh, blood on the floor.
I didn't realize you brought this up. That's right. Yeah.
Whoa.
This is what we do.
My
every
mother-in-law.
A little freaky.
All right, well, let's go through the walkthrough now.
Look at this.
Ghost
He goes
children.
crazy.
I wish my kids played that quiet.
I really like doing that.
Oh,
This is the walk up to our house.
holy cow.
Like a mini little haunted house.
What is this?
Yeah, he basically built a haunted house on Halloween.
Oh, wow. Moves. What is that? Is that Pennywise?
That's our cousin. He's an alcoholic.
That was the year it. I think, came out.
That's scary.
In the audio, it says,
this?
I say
Oh
that's our
my
cousin. He's not alcoholic.
Whoa!
Looks like the hand.
Look at that
Lannister.
That was expensive.
Blank.
Oh. Oh, what's that?
And it's almost Halloween again, bro.
All right.
Already.
And finally, you get to the candy. Yeah.
So, you know what's funny is the difference between us is hilarious. Like, you know what I do for Halloween?
What's that?
I turn my lights off so that no one knows I'm there and they don't bother me.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Like, I don't want people knocking on my door. So,
Yeah.
you know, and I keep out signs not gonna work. They're like, "Oh, scary! Let's go check it out." Like, no, just leave me alone, please. I have a neighbor that puts his Christmas lights up before Halloween, and it's super confusing. And I've asked him, "Why you put them up so early?" I'm like, "Well, they know I don't celebrate Halloween." I'm like, "Oh,
Okay.
okay,
It's like,
makes
yeah.
sense, yeah."
All right. Whatever floats your boat.
So back to She-Hulk. So Shane has to get out the dolls in order to enjoy She-Hulk. That's what I heard.
Got to, yeah. I got to have my wife saying, because my wife's not going to watch She-Hulk. So I got to have like some way to get into it.
I think you're giving She-Hulk too much of a hard time, man.
I'm
Like,
not.
This episode was girly as hell, but like it's
It's a girl show, though, don't you think? I mean, it's dead. I mean, look, they're constantly, even this one, once again, they're beating up all the dudes. They're all trashy, terrible guys. Even the guy in the B story this time, he's a trashy, terrible husband, you know, that lives forever. It's funny, but it's funny for like people who think like girls or enjoy like that kind of thing. And it's like, if you take off your man coat and you sit down with your significant other and you enjoy a show with her, why not? Yeah, enjoy the heck out of it. There's some good stuff there. It's funny. I mean, Tatiana's hilarious. I mean, honestly.
We got a super chat from She Is. So we got a super chat from Orville Nation. We want a VIP members walkthrough of Shane's house in Halloween.
Nice. Everybody come on out.
A members only video for that.
Members only walkthrough.
Archmage Frey, did you restart the recording? No, I'm just gonna have to do a lot of editing. Thank you, Archmage.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, we got to figure out Video Ninja. It's been doing this ever since we started Video Ninja. I don't know why.
It's not Video Ninja, bro.
I mean, it didn't do it until we started doing that.
Well, no, it did. I never dropped it completely. It would just get such bad quality it wasn't watchable.
No, my whole computer freezes.
Oh.
That's when I disappeared. Like everything, I have to restart the whole computer.
Oh, that's weird. All right,
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Who's
All right,
this girl?
Back to the recording.
Yeah.
All right, so back to She-Hulk. So we're at the wedding, and Jen wants to show up in Hulk form because she is feeling self-conscious about her station in life, and
Understandable.
She wants to show everyone that she is now a super sexy Hulk, and she's successful in her law firm, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And these are high school friends, apparently. They went to high school together, so yeah, it makes sense. Like a reunion.
Right. Like a reunion. Yeah, like a reunion. All right. But her friend was like, "Yo, please don't come to the wedding in Hulk form." So
It's pretty funny when she was hugging her and her face is in her boobs, and I mean those are funny moments. You know?
Yeah. Most of this was sort of like benign nonsense. Now the secondary story was actually pretty funny. I know it was
humor. Yeah.
Yes.
It was another shot at guys, but yeah, it was funny for that reason.
But first off, it takes a lot for me to laugh out loud, right? Like actually like burst out laughing. Okay.
For real. Yeah.
Maybe it's because I watch a lot of crap. Maybe because I've seen a lot of jokes. Like I can usually see the setup for a joke. I did not see the setup. So,
You didn't see it coming.
So this guy is Mr. Immortal. His superpower is that he doesn't. What's that? What's that?
That was cool. I like that.
Yeah, his superpower is basically he doesn't die, right?
Right.
And he wants to. He's trying to find lawyers because a bunch of his wives and vendors and stuff found out that he doesn't actually die, and they want to sue him because the way he escapes a marriage is by like just killing himself.
Yeah, but David Pasquesi, however you say his name, he did a really good job, I think, of kind of playing this like totally like unobservant guy, right? Who's like lived so long. He's like, what am I doing wrong? I just die. It's no big deal, you know.
And this is the craziest part. They're over here like, I don't have another word for it. So like nagging at him and like both going off at the same time, telling him how horrible he is.
Yeah, they're like incredulous, like what he's saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. First off, this chick needs to relax. She's the assistant. How is she going to go off on a client? I'm sitting there getting annoyed, and I literally say to myself, damn, I want to walk into traffic. And then the guy gets up.
That was the funny part.
He
Yeah.
gets up and just jumps out the window, dude.
To his death. I mean, because that is the way sometimes guys feel when they're being beat up by ladies.
Oh my
Mentally,
God.
verbally.
I was thinking about it the whole time. I was like, dude, I want to run into traffic. This is torture. The fact that the show paid that off was like,
well, and the good thing they did is there's some guy jokes, and there's also some stereotypical girl stuff in here. So it does feel a little more balanced. It's just like every episode, it's like, what this week, what guy is going to do what bad thing is kind of, but then when you realize, when you put your hat on, you say, oh, I'm watching a movie or a show because my wife wants to, and you're just ready to expect that. And then it doesn't become something that you complain about anymore. That's how I did that.
I do not feel the same way as Shane, by the way, but I can
right.
see, that point. Yeah, you see his point. That was pretty much, by the way, the top of the episode. Like that was it. That was the best part of the episode. Everything from there is just sort of, Jen's story, and nothing moves. What's that?
This is critical to the She-Hulk show.
It's critical for her character development. Yes.
Yeah, because she hasn't had anybody like her for her yet. Really, that was just like a regular guy. This guy's, if you can scroll back one, this guy's not a douchebag. He's just a dude who's kind of also being pushed around by this bride. And they both kind of are. And for the first time, you feel like she's having some sort of like chemistry with someone they don't have ulterior motives. He's just there to like meet her. And I thought that was cool because Jen needs that, I think, internally.
Sure. Yeah. Right. So we got character development for Jen. And that's good. And, and like she said at the beginning of the episode, she set up the audience. She said, like, yeah, this is a wedding episode. It's out of place, but they're fun. Okay. Like, I like that she set that up because my expectations immediately were lowered.
Right.
All right.
And they always kind of pick on that character, which I think makes that character good. And another reason why She-Hulk isn't a terrible show is because the main character gets picked on a lot. And a lot of times in these shows that we hate that are very woke and very not cool, the main character is kind of improperly uplifted and turned into like some sort of a better than they should be. But Jennifer Walters is obviously being kicked around a lot.
Right. There's this moment where he says, I will never understand women if I live to be and then he just said, and I will, because he's immortal.
Yeah, that was a funny line.
Yeah. And we're going to burn through a lot of this wedding stuff. The thing with the B story with Mr. Immortal is basically he's being just sued. And they're trying
by all of his past wives. Yeah.
Right. And also vendors.
Or a husband too. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So they're trying to come up with a class action lawsuit basically. And I'm going to burn through everything. So I'm going to tell you what happens. They decide that he has a bunch of gold from his first wife and they're all going to split it, however many ways. That's pretty much what they decide to do.
Yeah.
All right, now back at the wedding, Tatiana played by Jamila.
Jamila Jamil.
Yeah, I can't say her. I can't pronounce her name.
It's okay.
She shows up as someone's +1 because she wants to mess with She-Hulk. Okay, cool. Of course, we need to have the obligatory super villain fight in every show, even if it's at a wedding. I thought that on its own was sort of funny because
Yeah.
you would think at the wedding episode there's not going to be any superheroing, no action. Oh no, not in She-Hulk. Yeah, that's not how this works. So
Witchy Poo loved this part. It was fantastic.
What's that?
Witchy Poo really loved this whole exchange with the girls and everything. It was good.
Witchy Poo. All right. So that's about it. Blah blah blah. Now this is the last part, important part. Then the show's gonna end. So it's a really quick episode. They find this website called Intelligentsia, which that's already a website now, like the second this aired.
It already was.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Is that a real website?
Spanish word for the word intelligent. So yeah, it's definitely a website.
I wonder why Disney would use an existing. Okay. So
I mean, they're not giving you what, they're just giving you the name. So you don't know if it's www. what. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're giving you a domain name.
That's true. So basically, this is 4chan.
Well, no. I mean, I see how you would say that, but this is actually the evildoers underground.
I understand.
Yeah. The person trying to get her blood.
It literally looks like a mix between 4chan and Reddit.
Sure.
And it has like the same style, image, and it's very similar. As a Reddit / 4chan reader, this is very similar to those websites. So I see what the comparison they're trying to make, and there's bad guys and people want to kill her, and they talk about how much that's literally Reddit. Anyways, they talk about how they hate She-Hulk and they're trying to figure out how to kill her. And so this is the real story. This is what moves like the underlying story. We're gonna find out who wants to kill She-Hulk and why.
Right.
And apparently it's just a bunch of toxic male trolls.
Right. And so like once again, you know, if you can't see that that's like a constant thing, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's a constant. And so that's what makes it a girl show, because girl shows like to beat up on guys and make fun of dudes and make dudes look like ridiculous. And so we have to at least label it that and admit that this is not a show that was made for guys. Right? You got to admit it at least.
I mean,
you can still enjoy it and be a guy, I guess, but it wasn't made for us.
I mean, I enjoy most of it. I didn't when we started this, I wasn't enjoying it. I thought it was gonna be like a meme review, but it's sort of fun. And there's funny parts.
You did all like the inside girl jokes and the whole like the bridesmaid getting pushed around and cleaning everything. I mean, that's girl hijinks.
Yeah, I don't understand any of that or care. You're right.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And that's about it, guys. That's it for that this little mini She-Hulk review. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the way to the comment section. Let us know what you guys thought of She-Hulk this week, and we're moving on.
Next week's episode's 2.5 minutes, I believe.
The last episode is just going to be an image post.
I'm disappointed we're not getting like the end credit scene from her anymore. Like the last two episodes, there's been no like something else, and that I was kind of looking forward to that in these. I think.
Yeah, I wonder why that ended. Why did they stop doing that?
I don't know.
Okay, what's up, Josh? How you doing, brother? All right, we are going to be talking about dragons. Let me start it up. We're talking about dragons, aka House of Dragons, and how they are officially whooping the butt of the Rings of Power, which, if you've been watching both, which you know we have, that's not news. It ain't news. House of Dragon is a phenomenal show, and Rings of Power is pretty much a double disappointment. And that's... So, Shane, explain to me exactly why this is like... How are they proving this with metrics and not just subjective...
Yeah.
You know,
so according to Parrot Analytics data, which takes into account consumer research, streaming downloads, and social media, among other engagements, it appears that HBO's House of the Dragon has risen in the most recent week, and demand for Amazon Prime's video, The Rings of Power, fell by about 13%. So each week, House of Dragon has increased its viewership, and each week, Rings of Power it's fallen. So that's what this thing's reporting here. And I mean, it's not like we're surprised, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Rings of Power has been slow and boring. And even for people who don't really understand the Tolkien story, it's pretty obvious that it's not nearly as good as House of the Dragon, in my opinion.
Yeah, my question is, how are they getting their data?
Well, I mean, I don't know how it works, but what they're reporting is that they take into account a bunch of factors. So you have those sites now that are like, they go to Disney Plus's homepage, and every day they keep track of the top 10 and Netflix and these other places. So I mean, so that's one way to find out like how things are performing. And they do like a bunch of different things that you can actually, a bunch of little things that these streaming networks don't realize they're giving away the information.
Mm-hmm. And
then they build their own little analytics based off of that. And also what's trending on Twitter or Instagram, and, you know, how many people are joined which group for, you know, on Facebook, stuff like that.
Interesting. Yeah. So some of this has to be a little conjecture, because they don't actually have HBO's numbers. They don't have She-Hulk's numbers, Lord of the Rings numbers. So,
well, they do. They do have how many times it fell in the number 3 spot or the number 4 spot in the trending for those streaming services. They absolutely do. They track those daily. We did it for the Orville when we were trying to do the Orville's renewal. We were tracking what day spot they were in each day to see how much it was being viewed. And then you can just add a percentage to it based on how much that changes or what happens.
Interesting.
So there is I mean, it's not perfect. It's not exact, because these streaming services will never give us their numbers unless it completely leans into their favor.
Right.
But there is a way for us to kind of gauge popularity based on what we're seeing. Now, could the streaming services lie about what's on their streaming services and what's being watched and what's not? They absolutely could. And it wouldn't surprise me in a bit if something like that were to change.
You know what's really interesting here is apparently even She-Hulk is beating Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
According to their metrics, yeah. And I don't see how that's possible. Although there's a lot of kids watching She-Hulk. You know, that's the funny thing. My 13-year-old, he's all about watching She-Hulk. You know, he's a teenager, so
I mean, he's 13.
I get it.
Have you seen She-Hulk?
Yeah, I get it. But the point is that there's a lot of kids. There ain't no kids watching the Lord of the Rings.
No.
On Prime Video.
No,
so
there ain't no kids watching it.
And here's another thing is, I'm not stopping my kids. Like, I don't give my kids access to Prime Video. So when they go to like look at things, they can't just watch anything they want on Amazon. But I give them pretty much the free run on Disney Plus.
That's true.
So a lot of kids probably are around the world are watching more She-Hulk stuff or more Disney Plus stuff just because of that reason.
Interesting. Yeah, they also said that Tales of the Walking Dead was down 10%. So, you know, as there's only so many viewers of these streaming services. So as demand for some shows go up, demand for other shows are going to go down. There isn't an unlimited supply of viewers. So I can see how, like, as you know, I mean, like when we make a video on our main channel, like that video can be getting a lot of views, but when we make a new video, it usually, the video that the previous video usually falls down a little bit because those viewers are going to move to the newest video.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And the way they're making their decisions for these things, it's funny. Chris Pine had a quote when he was talking about Star Trek 4, and they were saying, you know, what kind of story do you want to have put out, you know? And he's like, just make a story that fans of Star Trek want to see. Because if you make Star Trek for people who like Star Trek and stop trying to make it for the whole world, then it's going to be successful. And that's such a great quote. And I would say the same thing about House of the Dragon or Rings of Power. House of the Dragon is just making good Game of Thrones material.
It is good Game of Thrones.
and then the Game of Thrones fans will show up. And if the Rings of Power would just make good stuff that Tolkien fans like, that Lord of the Rings fans like, then people will show up and watch it and stop trying to cater and bend to the entire planet to try to gain as many viewers as possible. In the long run, you end up losing. I think it's a losing scenario, and I don't know who has done the demographics and who's figured this out, or maybe they can't mentally wrap their arms around it. But if you build something for the fan base that already exists, it just feels like you're going to have more success in the long run. There's a reason why these franchises exist successfully today. It's because people love them. So continue to build stuff for those fans.
Yeah, it seems like a no-brainer to me. I used to not understand the motivation behind like, oh, let's change this series that already has fans and make it something different. And then I watched a show on Hulu recently called The Reboot. And if that show is even remotely correct, I sort of understand their motivation. Like, it's motivated by personal opinion and personal and personal motivations. And so in that show, this woman wants to reboot this 90s sitcom. And the actors are down to do it because they feel like the 90s sitcom was always cheesy and didn't represent the character they wanted to play, and they didn't get to do their acting. And they basically get them, they go, oh, we're going to do this reboot, and the actors want to do it because it's like a new, edgy, darker version where they can like flex their muscles and get paid, their acting muscles and get paid for it, right?
Yeah, it's basically Picard seasons 1 and 2.
Right. And what happens is, it's exactly that. Like, the character is playing, that's Patrick Stewart. And it's hilarious because like the studio is cool with it until someone with a brain that, one of the original showrunners is like, oh yeah, no, we're not going to do any of that. We're going to go, if we're going to reboot it, we're going to do it the way we did it before, what made it successful. And now the show is about them basically fighting and arguing with the original showrunner who's going to do it who wants to do it the way it was successful and not this brand new way.
That's cool. Yeah.
And it's a pretty good show because I'm looking at like, okay, so they're justifying their actions, but I'm also seeing sort of why they do it. Before I used to be like, I don't understand why don't they just do it right? Well, because they don't think the first version was right. They think the original way it was done was wrong or not progressive enough or had the wrong message or didn't allow them to tell the right story or whatever. So they're trying to correct history by modifying existing IP.
Yeah. Instead, because it was celebrated, successful, and loved, then maybe you're wrong about your perception of the show, which is the message studios should probably think is, if you think you're right, go back and look and see if it was popular and loved and why the heck you're doing a reboot now or redoing the show now, because you wouldn't be doing it if the show wasn't successful the first time around.
Right.
So yeah, that's what, and Paul Reiser is in that show, and he hasn't been in a lot lately. You probably remember from Aliens 2 or old 90s sitcom, in fact, that he was on. So
oh yeah, Paul Reiser in that show Reboot.
Yeah,
he plays the showrunner, I think.
Yeah, he was in a 90s sitcom, which is funny enough. Mad About You.
It makes sense. Yeah, Mad About You is actually pretty funny. Although I didn't like the
You like Helen Hunt?
I despise
everybody didn't like Helen Hunt. It's okay.
Like I really dislike that character, that actress, like just everything about her.
Yeah. Yeah, you remember her in Twister, right? Yeah, just that's like the culmination of the end of Helen Hunt.
Oh, jeez. I'm so glad that era is over.
And so if you're looking forward to House of the Dragon this week and Rings of Power is going to take us out of Numenor and actually into the Southland, where hopefully we'll get some sort of Sauron sighting. House of the Dragon, we're going into the future, where we'll be getting an older Princess Rhaenyra and Queen Alicent, among others, and a short-haired version of Daemon, Matt Smith. So we'll be doing reviews on those if you guys want to check in and check that out. Of course, we do it live for our members, and otherwise stay tuned and let's see how that goes this week.
Yes, and hit the subscribe button on the way to the comment section to let us know what you're watching.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's next? Oh, I know what's next. The Weekly Terry.
Oh, Weekly Terry.
The Weekly Terry.
So I just want you guys to know that after we did the Weekly Terry last week, I tweeted Terry and DM'd him and sent him like what it was, and he absolutely loved it. So he thought it was great, and he pointed us to some new information that we could use for this week. Because once again, the great Terry Matalas, who is the showrunner for Picard Season 3, has given a little bit more information about the show to us.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're able to pull up any of his tweets or not here, but
yes,
I think the big one for the week is this one here. And this is going to shock you. So I want everybody to hold on to their seats for a second. Just kind of buckle up, get a grip somewhere. So
wait a minute.
This tweet.
I don't know which ones you're going to show. So I'm just like, I got like 6 ready. Like, okay, here we
go.
go.
Okay. This is good. So this tweet from Jesse or @pockets_13 said, spending my Saturday night alone with my own thoughts. Unfortunately, that has led me to freaking out that one of the TNG characters is going to die in Star Trek Picard Season 3. Please, @Terry Matalas, let these guys live happily ever after. Pray emoji. Well, Terry responded with, safety not guaranteed.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, man. Listen, Terry doesn't troll people. This is one thing we figured out. He doesn't troll people. So he's not going to say that without there being an element of something dangerous that will occur. Now, does that mean somebody's definitely going to die? No. But it means that we can't be certain that he won't kill off somebody. Who can he kill that we won't like freak out about?
Picard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Picard needs to die.
He could kill Picard, I guess. In
Just
some heroic way. That would be okay.
Yeah, everyone think about it for a minute. You think Patrick Stewart's coming back to this character in 10 years?
I hope he's with us still, but I doubt he will be. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, yeah, fine. He might still be alive, but he can barely play the role now. He's not coming back to the character of Picard the next run around, the next go around. And if you don't kill off this character and you want to continue in that future, people are going to ask in canon, where's Captain Picard?
Interesting.
And it's already been advertised as the final season.
Right.
The final season of Picard. Which means no more Picard after this. So if they do continue with Janeway or 7 of 9 or Riker series or whatever, we can't think that Captain Picard is still alive and kicking in an immortal robot body.
That's a good point. And there's someone else they can kill that you don't realize. Are you ready for this?
The audience.
They can kill Wesley Crusher.
Oh.
And I think everybody would be okay with that.
Is what I would say if I was a complete moron.
You ruined the Traveler story with this whole, Picard Season 2. They just totally ruined the Gary 7 storyline of
Here's
TOS.
the deal,
just so
boys.
Irritates me. So please, if you want to kill somebody, kill that guy.
Oh my.
Oh my. Let's give away.
Freaking Will Wheaton right now is like, what did I do to you guys?
You know what you did.
You know what you
Reddit
did, Will.
Or Wesley. So he also gave away something else. This is interesting. So another tweet came out that said, it was from Jorg Hillebrand. I'm looking forward to finding out who the red statue seen in the Star Trek Picard Season 3 trailer actually depicts. The statue looks rather Janeway-esque. And now that's at the beginning of the building that's being destroyed. Remember the Starfleet building we saw in the preview?
Yes.
And we're like, what is that? So it says here, another guy says, Michael Kukulica, whatever. Isn't that Starfleet emblem TOS movie era? Could be a museum, perhaps Kirk. And Terry says it's an older building on an older planet. So that confirms, Terry just confirmed to us that it's not It's not on Earth, and it's an older building, so it's older than TNG, or I'm sorry, older than TOS, and it's on another planet, an older planet. So where could that be?
That's weird.
Yeah, but it's a little tidbit here.
So that I looked it up, by the way, that from the satellite view, I'm almost positive that is the San Pedro Basin where they shot that.
Okay.
It's the exact same layout minus a few added things and all the added futuristic crap.
Like this super chat from Kenneth LaRoque. Thank you, Kenneth. It looks like it's time for this. Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley.
Because we run everything.
I know Will Wheaton hates that, but sorry you're famous, buddy.
I agree with Josh Temple. You can go ahead and kill Picard off, but do not touch Worf. Don't touch Worf.
Nobody lays a finger on Worf. You touch one hair on Worf, and I'll pull your eyes out.
Nerds will riot.
Okay, here's another little tidbit from Terry. Jason Redman says, do Trek producers dream of one day being legendary admirals? And then he says, hashtag USS Metalis. And Terry says, I kind of make a cameo. So it looks like Terry will be in in Picard season 3 at some point.
Cool. It's awesome.
Lots of weekly Terry tidbits. Let's see if there's anything else.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, bring it.
Nathan Hansen asks, some thoughts I've been having about Star Trek Picard season 3. Will they continue the TNG tradition of hilarious gag reels? Will we get a captain's log from Picard? What ship are they going to use for the pre-show flyby? Should they pull a ransom and use a giant John Luke head? Terry Metalis says, we'll have one, a gag reel. There's going to be a captain's log from not just Picard, but yes, from Picard. And the ship's flyby will be the Titan A.
That's good. So we're going to see the Titan A. He also confirmed this week, again, I believe this is more than once, David Barber said that Picard season 2 was a bit of a self-indulgent mess. I fear season 3 will be more of the same. What looks like more time travel and all those returning characters we'll see. And Terry says, no time travel. So there will be no time travel in Picard season 3. You can rest assured.
Oh,
and we're all grateful for that. So those are the big Terry tidbits, I think, here.
Yeah.
USS Metalis must be named after this planet.
Yeah, good thing. Yeah, I agree. There's no Klingon Worf. I'm almost positive that our, secret reboot timeline or video is 100% on point, and the Klingons were part of a, let's call them, extreme religious sect that we saw in Discovery, and that did not represent the whole of the Klingon Empire, but only the hardcore, like, religious nut jobs, and that's why they look like that, and that's not what all Klingons look like, just the ones we saw. I'm assuming.
Good point. Yeah. There was also a follow-up to, like, him killing off one of the characters. And when somebody said, well, Terry, if it's Picard that you kill, basically, I hope you give him a heroic, meaningful death, not crushed to death by a pedestrian bridge. Terry says word, which means he agrees. That's 80s speak for I agree.
Nice.
So, yeah, because the pedestrian bridge was Kirk obviously getting killed during Star Trek Generations.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks like there's some really good stuff here, and but my favorite tweet, even though we got some really great stuff from Terry all week, it was his non-Star Trek tweet that got the most laugh from me. And he had this tweet, basically film updates put out that Netflix has launched a casting call for Squid Game: The Challenge. With the largest cast in reality TV history, 456 real players will enter the game in pursuit of a life-changing experience, just like Squid Games. And of course, he has the Jeffrey, what's the guy from Jurassic Park?
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Goldblum thing going. Kind of like, because think about it. Squid Games killed off all the people playing.
Yeah, you know my biggest problem with that though is that Mr. Beast already did it. So Netflix, you're just stealing a YouTuber's idea.
Right, but at least this time it won't be set up, maybe, because Mr. Beast, he sets up who wins. So
no, he doesn't.
I don't know. It sure looks like it does to me.
What are you talking about? It was not set up.
Well, he handpicks the people that are going to be in it, people that are friends, and
no,
people that he can control. Yeah,
you gotta watch that. It's a long thing to like dedicate.
I'm just saying all of his challenges typically are that way. So maybe he did this one different. I don't know, but that's how he typically does his giveaways. He's giving away his millions to people that he knows.
I don't think you're correct. I don't think he does that.
All right.
But I did watch that episode, and there was a lot of people in that episode. I just think it's hilarious that Netflix like, oh, we should do it like the YouTuber did it. Yeah, let's do that. I'm just so tired of these big Hollywood companies just jacking our thing. Like when we watch Game of Thrones and it literally starts off with, for more information, follow the official podcast. Like, dude, get out of our lane, Holmes.
That's a good point.
Like, that's what we do. You're already making the thing. Let us do the podcast.
You're already making the thing.
Yeah. All right. That said, this has been The Weekly Terry.
The Weekly Terry.
Yeah,
thanks again. Let's see what Terry gives us next week, huh?
Yeah. Subscribe and comment below. All right. Every time I see you message Terry, it's like surreal that you're talking to like a Star Trek showrunner.
He's a cool guy too. It's like not everybody in Hollywood's very cool, but you can tell he's just like seriously, like if one of us had like got lucky and was able to like get into Hollywood and do some of this stuff, he's just like one of us, like Rob or you or me or whatever.
Yeah, and he's a really nice guy.
Nice guy.
Plus,
with a lot of pressure.
I noticed that his Twitter where he's from is the same as ours, which I don't know if that's just a common thing for nerds or what, but it's awesome.
Yeah. So we'll bring you what we can.
So we have our Twitter location as being Hill Valley, California, because it's the only actual place that also represents like something we like. Like Back to the Future, and he has the same one.
He's a nerd, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. A nerd, super nerd.
So what do we got here in the chat? Getting into Hollywood is lucky? ? Ken, it actually is to some degree, because a lot of these guys who started out as writers, it's a little bit of who you know and also being local and who you rub shoulders with, but you got to have a little bit of talent. And Terry was a good writer. A lot of these Star Trek guys were good writers when they were on the original shows. And so once you make a little name for yourself, there's a little bit of luck involved, I think. Got to have some talent. Brian and I have never really tried, so who knows what would have happened.
I mean, we worked for actors and producers.
Yeah, but I mean, we never really said, let's just go for it. I mean, I spent a career in the Navy, but it would have been interesting to like just try to write scripts or try to do some sort of production.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I never actually like tried to do anything in Hollywood. We worked for actors, and we've done like their little production stuff and graphics and all that. But we never actually said like, oh, let's go intern on this show and try to break into writing or whatever. Never, and it really never, and it was never even a thought. I guess Terry was like, I'm gonna go be the craft service guy at Paramount, and ended up eventually being interning. And then,
well, he was young too. So like, I mean, when you were young, when I was young, we were in the military. So, when we came out, we already had a life going on. So it's tough, when you're in your early 20s, that's the time to take a risk. And that's what he did. And
that's true.
So that's part of the process.
This is true, friend. This is very true. You are not lying, okay? Anyways, very nice guy. And next week we'll have more. So let's move on from that.
Doomed Ho, really quick. Patrick Stewart talked like he might do a TNG film after Picard season 3. You're right, but what he actually said was, and he really spoke out of turn, was I think he misunderstood what they were talking about, because he said, yeah, I'd love to do a movie or something to that effect to the question. So I think a little bit of his old timers was kicking in there when they asked that question. It seemed like it was dismissed pretty quickly by Kurtzman.
Yeah, they were like, no, we're not doing a Picard movie.
Although that doesn't stop Giant Freaking Robot from saying that the next movie is going to be a Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
Star Wars 4 or Star Trek 4 is Picard movie.
Yeah, there was literally an article. I had to ask Shane if he was mistyped, because the Giant Freaking Robot article. We've been here. This website is garbage. It's not real. Nothing they do is real. They had an article where they said Star Trek 4 is going to include the cast of the Next Generation.
I know, it's just they just pull it out of their butts, man.
Like,
They don't even care.
That doesn't make sense in any way. There is no way that makes sense at all. It's like someone said, Patrick Stewart said there will be a movie, and they're like, and there's going to be Star Trek 4. Oh, it must be the same. Yeah, go ahead and report that. Boss goes, hey, Jerry, you sure? He goes, yeah, who cares? They're going to include it anyways. Jeez, so stupid.
Oh, fun.
Orville Nation Super Chat. You guys are doing stuff beyond your wildest dreams on YouTube. In the coming years, so much potential on YouTube. I agree. Thank you, PJ.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And PJ, we are very fortunate to be able to do this. I mean, we do have regular jobs, but we're slowly transitioning into doing this more frequently, and it's all because of Brian and I working together and having great people like you guys supporting us. So thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity. If you don't watch them, it doesn't happen for us. So thank you. And PJ's so great too. Also, he was, helping us out on Maria's birthday stream the other day, and he's just such a wonderful connector. Thank you, PJ, for everything you do.
I agree. Thank you, PJ. Giant Freaking Robot is 50% fake stories and 50% Brie Larson bikini pics. Yeah, that's pretty true.
Oh my Lord. Which both are bad in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone, there was like this weird group of the internet who used to think like, Brie Larson is the hottest chick I know, and I'm like, are we looking at the same person? She's so plain to me. Like,
everybody's got their type,
There was
the trailer park has lovelies as well.
There's entire threads like dedicated to thousands of people on how hot Brie Larson is.
She reminds me of like the pinnacle of the trailer park. The trailer park hot.
Oh yeah, so yeah. She's like the top trailer park.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I always thought like not Angela Bassett. The chick that played Eminem's mom. Oh, what was her name? Damn.
Oh, I don't remember.
She was she was like the top of the trailer park.
Wait, Brie Larson. What season of Community was Brie Larson?
Season 4. She played I think Abed's girlfriend, I believe.
I must not be there.
Only
yet.
a couple episodes.
Yeah, I must not be there yet because I'm watching Community right now at 9. Although, like I said, Cobra Kai is where it's at, guys. So
yeah, she played Rachel. She was basically dating, I think, Abed.
All right, well, I'll check out those.
Only a couple episodes, and it was season 4. Look at that! I knew it off the top of my head, just like that. All right, let's rock and roll to the next topic. No, yeah, that's right. Discovery.
Ah, that's all right.
I lost track of my notes, guys.
Let's do a little pitch for Movie Palette again really quick. So if you guys were watching earlier, we got if you guys haven't checked this out, this is Movie Palette. They're sponsoring today's video, today's live stream, and that's really cool. But basically it's a movie. Okay, stop making noise.
Sorry.
It's a movie that that is in all the colors of the movie are lined up in vertical lines. So from the beginning to the end of what we have there is Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. You can get that at moviepalette.com. They have tons and tons of options for you to take a look at. And if you use Popcast 15, that'll get you 15% off of your own Movie Palette piece of artwork. So thanks a lot.
Dum, dum, dum. Moonpod.com. All right, let's go. It's rock and roll. It's rock and roll. Yeah, Archmage says she doesn't look anything like she does now. You wouldn't recognize. Yeah, she did. She looks very different.
Yeah.
All right. We are talking about Star Trek Discovery. Apparently, the writing for Star Trek Discovery has been completed. What do we expect from Star Trek Discovery? Let me tell you what I expect.
Very
Not much. Not much.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny. It's like my heart and soul always wants to like say, well, maybe it'll be better. You know, I always want to do that. Like maybe they'll just figure it out and it'll be okay. You know, that's kind of what I want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know. So let's tell you what is going to happen. They did wrap writing, so they're done writing it. They actually started shooting episode 10 back in early June in Toronto, and apparently they're halfway completed. But this season 5 is going to be about this. In season 5, Captain Burnham and the crew of the USS Discovery uncover a mystery that sends them on an epic adventure across the galaxy to find an ancient power whose very existence has been deliberately hidden for centuries. But there are others on the hunt as well. Dangerous foes who are desperate to claim the prize for themselves and will stop at nothing to get it. Sounds like Indiana Jones, doesn't it?
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like last season, they go, hey, what's a really like epic universe thing that we can pull from canon? They're like, oh, the Great Barrier.
Yeah.
And so they wrote that ridiculous season. And then this season, they're like, okay, so that was a success. Obviously, they're not reading everything. What else can we pull? And they're like, oh, what about God?
Wasn't the Great Barrier, though, at the center of the universe or galaxy? They went outside the galaxy.
No. The Great Barrier was not at the center. It was.
Are you sure?
I don't know, Shane. I don't know where the damn Great Barrier is.
Great
in the galaxy.
Barrier, Star Trek.
Yes. Like I say, Archmage phrase. Before I was rudely interrupted by Shane.
Yes, the Galactic Core. Oh, wait. Let me see here.
Before I was rudely interrupted by Shane for the third time now. Well, give me a second, Shane. I said, oh, God, are they going to ruin Iconians? That was my thought process.
I see. So, they might go to Iconians, and yes, it probably would likely ruin it. But my point, the reason I interrupted you, and I'm sorry, is because you said that they went to, the Great Barrier outside of the galaxy. So, but they didn't, because the Great Barrier, which we went to in Star Trek 5, right? Undiscovered Country?
Sure, yeah.
Or whatever, Star Trek 6, whatever. 5. Anyways, forgive me on which one that is. But anyways,
right.
They went to the center of the galaxy, not to the edge. And in Discovery last season, they went outside the galaxy.
No, but they called they I don't know. Maybe they're wrong, but they called it the Great Barrier. And they said that starships couldn't get past the Great Barrier before for whatever reason.
Interesting.
It was like a void or something like that, or something ridiculous and stupid nonsense. And they couldn't, and there was no mycelial network, so they couldn't once they got in there, they couldn't use their mushroom drive, spore drive. It was so bad. I don't know why we're talking about it, but it was really bad. So what I was going to say though is they go, let's rehash something that they talked about in old Trek. And now they're doing the same thing. And I feel like it's either going to be God, the Greek mythos people from TOS, or Iconians, which it would make sense if it was Iconians, because Iconians span multiple series.
And they need to be careful because they said they're going to traverse the galaxy. I mean, you got to remember that it was going to take 40 years for Voyager to just cross the Delta Quadrant.
Right, but they have the spore drive, dude.
Oh, that's right. Shoot, I keep forgetting they have this technology that nobody should have. That's right.
No one ever in any TV show ever, any science fiction, anything should ever have the ability to basically fast travel at whim. That is a video game mechanic It doesn't belong. It doesn't belong in a story. When you're writing a story, part of the story is the travel time. So
Makes me tired.
Like you can't just. That's basically what they said. Like, let's make a technology that allows our crew to fast travel. Like you're playing Grand Theft Auto. Like stop it. Oh God, it makes no sense. Anyways,
it's like a cheat code. Yeah, it's just not right.
Yeah, Archmage Phrase said there's a barrier around the galaxy. Also, there's a barrier around the galaxy, according to Gary Mitchell, episode 2.
That's true. You're right. There's 2 barriers, apparently. I don't know. But all I remember is that when they went looking for God, they went to the center of the galaxy. They didn't go outside the galaxy in Star Trek Undiscovered Country.
And and there's also that one power, too, where remember the giant head, Zero, whatever. You know, there's been a lot of like godlike powers in TOS and in TNG. But I got to tell you, Iconians make the most sense because
used often, yeah.
It's popular enough that I know these weak writers would know of the name, and a quick Google search would reveal that nothing's happened with that race yet, and they would say, "Oh, fans would probably want to know more about that."
Well, and I think you might be right because it says here they uncover a mystery to find an ancient power that has been deliberately hidden for centuries. Now we know the Iconians are not hidden during Picard's time because they're investigating it. So that would make sense if it was only centuries, that they maybe since Discovery went into the future, it's been hidden, I guess, maybe. But Starfleet has really good information on the Iconians. And
well, they didn't say Starfleet hid it, though. What if it was hidden and Starfleet never found it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's an ancient power, which I don't know.
I mean, the Iconians were like God tier, right? Before they just disappeared.
They could send people. They definitely were more advanced, I think, than anybody in current.
Yeah, they were like the ancients from like Stargate. Like they were like top tier when it comes to tech.
Yeah, but I don't think they ascended.
No, they didn't ascend. I don't know. Orbital Nation for $5. FYI, taken from Joe Malazzi's blink drive concept from Dark Matter. I thought the same thing, but at least the blink drive had restrictions. Like there was. It wasn't unlimited range, right? And it was unlimited uses, and there was actual restrictions, like limitations to that technology. But there's almost seemingly no limitation to the Spore drive other than the fact that they had to use like the stupid tardigrade. And then you eliminated that restriction when you made it so that the chief engineer can do it. And then, there's a little restriction because the chief engineer is one person. Oh, but then you made it so that this other guy can do it. So if anyone can eventually be like programmed or made to do it, then there really isn't a restriction, is there?
True. That's a good point. So during this, when the writing wrapped, there was a past interview with showrunner Michelle Paradise. And she went on to say when they asked, how are they going to apply the lessons learned in the previous 4 seasons to how they approach the new season? And this is what Michelle said. We learn from every single season, and not just from every season. We learn from every episode, both creatively and logistically, working to better reach and be possibly the best version of the show we can be. And also be the best possible addition to the Star Trek universe. The things that come to mind immediately are probably things that are perhaps less interesting to fans of the show itself, but there were a lot of lessons learned last season in the lines of production and logistics. Okay, yeah, that's boring. How to shoot during COVID. We have brand new technology in the AR wall, which is a phenomenal technology.
That's that.
So they'll be using.
That's that thing I was telling you about earlier. The one with it's basically a projector wall. Yeah,
that Star Wars is using, and that's also a learning curve. So we've learned a lot about that over season 4 and be able to come and use it in new ways in season 5. So will we see an upgrade to locations, perhaps with these walls? But it doesn't say we're going to stop being the worst Star Trek show out right now.
I like what Archmage Frey said. Doing the Iconians and STD is like a new Stargate show immediately doing a season-long arc to meet the Furlings.
Ah, that's a good point.
But you're right. But it's also, I wouldn't put it past them. Like 100%. I'm believing it's either the Iconians or one of those things from that they're just mining from past episodes, because that's what they did last season.
Well, we won't know for sure, probably for about another year, since that's about how long we have before Discovery Season 5 happens. So we will keep you guys posted if anything new comes out.
And you know what's really interesting too is that like they really do believe that the last season was successful in their minds. Like they said that was like, I remember that when we were watching Star Trek, they were talking about it was the most successful season, and I'm like, to who was that successful?
To themselves, man. That's the only thing they listen to. It's a bunch of people farting in the room and everybody smell it and going, yes, that's good.
So true.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else to tell you. Maybe to all of the community members that really like that everybody needs a therapist. I don't know.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Let's wrap it up. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button on the way to the comment section to let us know what you guys thought of the last season of Discovery. Okay, just 1 second.
See what's going on over here. Jump drive. Jump anywhere in the galaxy in no time. Yeah, I hate that, Ken.
One
It's
second.
terrible. I'm going to talk to these guys. They will also meet Jodie Whittaker's doctor, because it will be just our luck that the first Star Trek and Doctor Who crossover will feature Jodie and Michael Burnham. Let's hope not. Toronto, a short commute for me. I'm part of the GTA. GTA is actually, there's no fast travel in GTA. Is there? Oh, I guess you could pay money to fast travel. My kids love that game. I don't think they should be playing it though, because too much cussing. Oh yeah. So anyways, other things we're going to talk about still upcoming today. We got the new Black Adam trailer. We're going to talk about, I guess, Justice League and Harley Quinn are involved. We got Amber Heard blackmailing her way into Aquaman 2. Scott Bakula apparently can come be on Quantum Leap anytime he wants and play in any role he wants. And we're going to be talking about a Star Trek Janeway a little later in the show as well. So make sure you stay tuned.
And I'm back.
All right.
Hey now. Okay. Let's rock and roll. What's up next? We're doing member section now, huh?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we can do one more. You got 4 left.
All right. What do you want to do next?
You pick.
Ooh. I'm thinking. Amber Heard? Yeah, Amber Heard.
All right.
I mean, I think I picked it incorrectly. That's what I just got from you right now.
You can change it though.
I can change it to something else.
You're based on me?
Yeah, you're like, okay, I guess.
I don't really. I mean, honestly, man, I think you should pick something that you think are.
All right.
Save whatever our members are gonna love.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll keep the Mogru thing. Let's talk about Amber Heard, bro.
All right.
I do think this is gonna be fun. All right, we are talking about Amber Heard because apparently Amber Heard has blackmailed her way into Aquaman 2, or did blackmail her way into Aquaman 2. And before I let Shane go off on his tangent, because I know he has one.
No.
My question to you, Shane, and the people listening. The only reason, or why would Amber Heard have to blackmail her way in Aquaman 2? Well, you look at what happened in her personal life with Johnny Depp and pooping on beds and all that nastiness, right? Because they're ridiculous, crazy, drug-addled celebrities. would that have so much actual effect on her involvement in Aquaman 2? I mean, celebrities have been acting like nutty, insane people for years, and as long as it's not criminal, I don't see why it would affect it. Additionally, she was actually, I know people hate Amber Heard, she was actually perfect for that role. She looks the part. You don't have to be that good of an actor to play that part. She fit. So I don't see why this would even be the case. But Shane, you tell me, why would this be the case?
I mean, it also could be a case of, looking at her now going, oh yeah, she's perfect for it. But maybe originally when they were casting, they were thinking, nah, that's not the way they wanted to go. What they're saying here is that an insider is reporting, and this is according to Geo.tv, that the Hollywood Inner Circle is reporting that someone in Hollywood who is anyone has heard about Amber's wild affairs, which implies Depp was aware of them as well. It was slowly killing him because he knew. Apparently, they believe that what they're saying is that she must have slept with somebody involved in the original Aquaman movie, in the making of it, and basically said, "I'm going to tell people if you don't put me in the movie," which seems crazy, but crazier things have happened, right?
This is what it says. It says, the same source also questioned Heard's ability to land the Aquaman role in the first place and admitted that most big studios began distancing themselves from Amber Heard after the messy divorce. They also said, per Lee Daly, and being one of the leads in the movie and only netting about $2 million for the job, that doesn't seem fair. That's why there were rumors that she was blackmailing Wan, as in James Wan. After seeing in her intimate environment with James Wan and Elon Musk, many of us are beginning to question if she slept with him to land this part. We are aware of the crazy things the two of them did. Well, here's the deal. If you don't think that this happens all the time,
yeah,
you're dreaming. First off, how do you think some of these ridiculously attractive people with zero resume land massive gigs sometimes? Is usually nepotism, and that can come from sleeping with that person, or being friends with that person, or being family, or being connected through a friend that has much bigger clout than you, or just being their barista and you guys having a friendly repertoire, right? Or whatever, a friendly dialogue. Nepotism is how at least half of Hollywood works. Now, you can assume that the attractive woman might have slept with the nerdy-looking director. That's a little sexist, but it's completely possible. Also, and I'll let you go, but also, just because she had not done much doesn't mean she wasn't right for the role, because they weren't casting her to be the lead. Like, this is saying, netting one of the leads. She wasn't one of the leads. She was at best the third character in the movie, fourth maybe character in the movie, and she just had to look the part. She didn't actually have to do much.
True.
She's playing Mira. She doesn't have to do very much. Half of her scenes are CGI, and the other half is her looking pretty. It's not hard. So they're casting to find the right person that looks the part, not plays the part, and she does look the part. She looks like the comic book character. She has everything. She's perfect for that role physically. So I really don't see a problem here, and I think it might be a little sexist to assume she slept with James Wan for the role. But if she did, it wouldn't be news, because nepotism is literally how Hollywood runs.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, remember, this is unsubstantiated. This is insider reporting. This is not insider reporting to us specifically, so we're reporting on somebody else's. But what the insider says is that since before the trial, the studio has wished for her to leave, not be involved at all. They think according to the source, she just does poor acting. They attempted to enact a contract clause that would have led to her termination, but James Wan battled to keep her on, according to the source. The producers decided to reduce her screen time to only 10 minutes. the source said, adding that, again, James Wan pushed to restore her sequences, something regarding his artistic vision and other things. So the insider is convinced that she slept with him, but they're even more convinced that Aquaman 2 will be the last Hollywood film you'll ever see Amber Heard in, since Hollywood is going to blacklist her.
Okay, this insider is on coke, crack, something. First off, I don't believe a word of this guy's article.
It sounds not great.
First off, Amber Heard is not going to stop acting. She's a pretty girl, and her problems with Johnny Depp are going to be gone. And James Wan pushing for her to have his original vision is probably not because, even if it is, it doesn't matter, because he likes the woman. It's probably because this is the movie he's trying to make, and he doesn't care about anything else happening outside of his film. He knows that in 30 years, when people are watching Aquaman 2, they're not going to be thinking about, more than likely, thinking about Amber Heard and her legal troubles with her ex-husband. So he's more concerned with making his movie and not making sure that some chick he may or might have hooked up with gets time in a movie. Because he's not hooking up with her anymore. Because if he was, that'd be bad if that got out. So if he was hooking up with her, he'd probably cut that off. He's like, oh, okay. I don't want anybody to poop in my bed. Back off, chick. But he wants his movie to be the movie he is trying to make. That's reasonable.
Well, and even more interesting is like just using the word blackmail here. You have to assume a lot of things in order to assume that, that James Wan just didn't want her to be in the movie in the first place. So,
but why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he want someone that was in his first movie that looks the part, that was received? I mean, made $1 billion.
Exactly.
Why would
no?
What insane creative person would be like, oh, you're having legal problems and you're a little bit crazy? I don't want you. I want to recast your role. That's insane.
Yeah, or just cut the role altogether, But blackmail seems pretty far-fetched. Is it possible? Sure. Especially after, we just saw the trial. We know that a lot of weird things are possible.
Yeah.
So
yeah, she's crazy. Everybody, newsflash. The hot actress with $1 million is nuts. I mean, did everyone think that she was like some pillar of the community?
Well, it doesn't make it okay.
No, it doesn't make it okay, but it also is barely going to affect her career. Let's be real, dude.
We'll see. No, I think it's going to hurt her. I don't think there's a bunch of big roles waiting for her. Mm-mm.
I mean, I don't think there's a bunch of big roles waiting for her before either, dude.
B-movie heaven. Here it comes. Get ready for it, Amber. There's a ton of first-time directors making low-budget films that would love to have you.
Yeah. I'm sure there's that's fine. Okay. Anyways, hit that subscribe button on the way to the comment section. Let us know what you guys. What's wrong with my mouth today? Let us know what you think about Amber Heard and Aquaman 2. And there's a lot of Johnny Depp bros out there, and listen, I get it. Amber Heard's nuts. But please don't fill the comments which is like, Amber Heard proved. We know Amber Heard is nuts. All right, we got it. Let us know what you guys think about this in particular. Okay, moving on.
All right, looks like time. All right, go do your thing. What do we got over here in the chat? Let's see. Taika Waititi slept with half the cast of Thor: Love and Thunder. Those lucky sons of bitches. Getting to sleep with Taika Waititi. Let's see. In 30 years, the people watching Aquaman 2 will be thinking more about the cult of 3,000 kids Ezra Miller is keeping in the 51st state of Millervania. You're a funny guy, Archmage. Let's see. JD was supposed to have gotten her part. Who's JD? Next for Amber. Amber will be doing some shout outs for Orville Nation next week. I'm certain she'll be available to do that for a price, PJ. See you later, Josh Temple. Thanks for hanging with us, man.
next for Amber. Amber will be doing some shout outs for Revelation.
That's one of the funniest things I've heard today. That's good.
Oh God. Yeah, you know, once you see her like on Cameo or something, like, okay. All right. That's it for Amber.
So I think we're getting ready to go to the members section, right? But first off,
I'm sorry, Archmage phrase is right. I'm sorry to cut you off. In 30 years, people who are watching Aquaman 2 will be thinking more about the cult of kids Ezra Miller is keeping in the 51st. Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah, I just read that one. That's hilarious.
Oh, man, you guys are funny, man. You guys are funnier than we are.
You guys should get your own show.
I think they do. I think Marvel has no show. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so just one last call before we go to members section, moviepalette.com. Give them a check out to get your own movie picture about your favorite movie, all the colors of the rainbow. Popcast 15, moviepalette.com. Get yourself 15% off and check them out.
Yeah, bigger ones too and smaller ones. So we chose the Star Trek one. Okay, everybody, that is it. We are going to the members section. Shane, can you please tell them what they're going to find in the members section?
Yes, we're going to be talking Black Adam's new trailer, which apparently was pulled out because it had some Joss Whedon stuff in it.
It was pulled immediately. That's a juicy story.
Juicy stuff. Scott Bakula is welcome to be on Quantum Leap. We don't know what anybody's talking about, according to Quantum Leap producer. And also move over Star Trek Picard. It's time for Star Trek Janeway. Really? Is it? Come on over to the member section. We're going to be talking about those stories. And thank you for supporting the channel. We appreciate you all. And if you're not coming over to the members channel, check us out next week. We'll be here 2:00 on Thursday. And let's talk about whatever's happening that week. So thank you guys.
That is correct. You can also get there at popcast.co/join. The link is in the description. It's also in the chat. And if you literally do nothing, if you literally just do nothing when the stream ends, it will forward you there. There's no reason to come to the members. No